Thanks so much for joining us today again. We are looking forward to we're going to do some questions here today. If you do have any questions as we move through topics, don't hesitate to put them in the chat and then we'll address them at the end. So if there's something specifically you want to ask, we'll be keeping track of the chat on this side. We are going to address some of the questions that we have received prior to the meeting in today's webinar first, and then we'll move on to the questions maybe that we get if we get any in chat. So today we're going to talk about our outdoor dining and retail space, the Daniels Fund, and Fourth Fridays, and then also the difference between the BID and the Main Street organization for downtown. And so with that, I think we'll move on to our first topic with you, Jay, for the dining and retail. Oh, you're on mute, Jay.
Next slide up then. I'm muted by you, Robin, at this point. So
oh, you're going. You're good. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, if we want to roll to the next slide there, what recently happened Monday evening, the City Council decided to waive all of the fees associated with the outdoor dining permit process. And what that does is allows restaurants, bars, and even retail people that want to use the sidewalk as part of their square footage to do business. It allows them to lease the parking spaces in front of their business and allows us to move the movement of people on the sidewalk out into the parking areas through building up a deck or some sort of a platform. And we can move foot traffic out away from the sidewalk, which will allow you to use the sidewalk landscape for your business, whether it's outdoor dining, or if you want to put some clothing racks out or whatever, you can do that. And that doesn't hinder the ADA compliance of the sidewalk. So that there have been fees associated with that in the past, and the City Council, in a move to support small business downtown, has decided that they're going to waive those fees for the next 6 months. So we can get ready in movement. Already have about 6 businesses that have opened discussion with me about doing that and moving forward with plans to move to outdoor dining areas to help increase the number of people that they can put in their businesses. Since most of the restaurants are looking at about a 50% diminished interior seating capacity. So this will give them space that they can move outdoors. We've got some great weather coming up after this weekend. Always rains on Memorial Day weekend in Idaho. But we've got some great weather coming up and we can take advantage of that. If anybody's interested in that, give me a call or email me and I can get you the paperwork necessary to get started. And I will actually be the one that'll walk that paperwork through the process for you. So if there's any questions, I'll be the first to know and get back to you. We'll just work hand in hand to get things put together. I think, unless anybody has any questions on chat about that, we're good to go. Robin, did I miss anything on that?
I don't think so. Are you able to see my next slide on the Daniels Fund?
Yes, that is up.
Okay, it's working now. Okay.
That is correct.
Just didn't want to work for a moment. I don't think so on the outdoor dining, unless other folks have more questions they know they can ask in the chat or get a hold of you afterward. Wanted to just give a brief update on the Daniels Fund. So about a year ago, Kevin and Mary Daniels, we were awarded funds through National Main Street organization specifically for Nampa and our downtown community. And that was meant for facade improvements. Well, because of COVID-19 and all of the things going on for our small businesses and especially the effect that it's had on our downtown business owners, Kevin and Mary Daniels, working with Main Street and then also with Jay, redid the Daniels Fund so that there is the availability of a business relief program. And so those funds now are a 0% interest loan that can be given to downtown business owners to help with general operating expenses and outdoor dining apparatuses. So we'll talk about the extension of the sidewalks, but we thought it would be really helpful, and so did Kevin and Mary and National Main Street, to make something that would be available for our downtown business owners. And so they have an opportunity to come apply. You can apply with Jay. He'll be our main point of contact for that also, too, and I'm happy to help also. So if there's any questions that you have, and we can start taking application for that. So today, so if you're interested in that, so $2,500 to $5,000 is the amount of the loan that is available per business. So Jay, anything more on the Daniels Fund and the Business Relief Program?
I think so. You know, the Daniels Fund, other than to say that the Daniels Fund was originally set up for facade and hardscape type upgrades to buildings, and that component is still there. So this hasn't changed that at all. So if there's things that you want to do, if you're a building owner or even a business owner inside the building that needs some work, we do have funds available through the same program. It's a little bit different program than the Business Relief Program is, but very similar, and there are funds available for that as well.
All right, so moving on to our next slide. So I wanted to talk briefly about the Idaho Rebounds program, small business grant program. So as many of you know, Idaho, through their CARES funding, decided to give businesses directly the opportunity to receive grant funding. And so Idaho is unique in that many states chose not to do it that way and reuse their CARES funding in other ways. So businesses have been applying. They opened up the application process on May 11th. And so you can see the last update I got was that there was about 2,000 businesses that had applied. And this slide just wanted to show you of how many businesses had been awarded funding, and wanted to let you know that there is definitely still funding available. So if that's something that you think would help your business. Additionally, something that they changed the rules on, and this opens on May 27th, is folks who are self-employed. So we have a lot of people in our downtown business area who are self-employed, and that they can start applying May 27th with up to 50 employees. And so the self-employed people are now eligible, and up to 50 employees. So that's something that's been added to the Rebounds program. And so hopefully that helps out some folks too who will have the opportunity for that funding. So that's up to $10,000. If you also received PPP, you can still be eligible if you didn't receive more than $10,000. So the recommendation that the SBDC is giving is, if you have questions about it, just go ahead and apply. So don't self-select yourself out. Just try applying, and then let them select you out. So that's what the SBDC is giving for guidance for folks. Okay, so the next.
Thanks, Morgan. For those of you that want to look at your chat, Morgan has put up the email or the website for the grant, and that will be in the post-Zoom meeting as well.
Yes, thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Jay. It takes a team to make these fun things happen, so I appreciate you guys doing that. Just really quickly, this is the kind of industries that have been receiving funding, so just an interesting slide to look at. This is a little bit of our economic development geekiness coming out here. But so construction and retail obviously are some of our higher groups that have received funding. And then in the other category, that can be lots of different things. So like the Hispanic Chamber would be something that fall in the other category. So again, apply. Morgan has the link, and that money is still available. So good opportunity for our business owners. On to my friend Jay to talk about Fourth Fridays in downtown.
Thanks, Robin. So we did receive some questions as to what, if anything, is going to be happening downtown during the summertime. Are we going to continue our normal types of activities throughout the summer? And so the quick answer is we're planning on it. We're planning on having events. We'll just kind of have to play it by ear and see how things go with the staged openings. We have already canceled some events that were slated to occur this year, like our Third Thursday activities. We've postponed those out until July. But one of the things that we are moving forward with is our Fourth Friday events. And we're kind of planning on making some changes to that this year. We had originally planned on having the food truck rally start about 6:30 on Friday nights. We're going to continue with that. We're still going to have live music, and we've got some great sponsors that have stepped up to the plate this year. Snake River Valley Trailers, they're going to be donating a flatbed trailer that will park on First Street, and that's where the live bands will be. We have a DJ that will be here every night hosting the music time, so we won't have any just dead space without any live music. We'll also have the food trucks on 13th Avenue this year. We're moving from the Lloyd Square over to down to more of the downtown area on 1st and 13th and out on front. So that'll move the food trucks to 13th, and we're going to have First Street shut down. And then we're going to have all the streets shut down around Lloyd Square, because at 9:30, when the food truck rally ends, we're going to show a movie. And the general consensus from social media was that people wanted an 80s theme for the movies. We have an inflatable screen that we'll be putting up underneath the covering at Lloyd Square. And given the current environment with Corona and COVID, what we're going to do is actually section off the grass in Lloyd Square into 10-foot squares. And families or individuals can rent those spaces and reserve them. And that'll give you distancing. We're going to minimize the number of people that can be in that square, or limit that to 4 adults or 2 adults and 3 children. And that way we'll have plenty of space, physical space around each square, and we'll still be able to get over 250 people into the square for a movie. So we've got plenty of room, and again, it'll be a reserve type of setup, and we haven't figured out exactly what application we're going to use to do that. But as soon as we have that figured out, we'll push that out to the public. We have a sponsor. CWI is sponsoring movie night, so that's already taken care of. And we've got some other great businesses that are stepping up and sponsoring. So if you as a local business in downtown want to be part of a sponsorship, please get a hold of me. We still have sponsorships available throughout the summer. And we're planning on doing 4 events. So it'll be June, July, August, and September. Again, all of this is going to be contingent upon what happens with our stage releases. So the first one on the 26th would be at the end of stage 4, or we hope will be what is moving into the full effect of stage 4, I should say, is what that will look like. Robin, am I missing anything on that one?
No, it sounds like a fun summer.
All right. So we had some other questions that came up. What's on the next slide?
Yes, a second. There we go.
Oh, okay. So I have had several people talk to me and ask me, what's the BID and what's Main Street for Nampa? It was a great question. we don't have time to get into all of the differences today, but this is a little handout that I had made a while back regarding the difference between the BID. So the Business Improvement District is strictly business-based, and back in the 80s, the local business people in Nampa decided that it was time to kind of pony up, if you will, on getting things happening in the downtown. And so they got together and actually voted to start charging themselves a fee to be in the downtown area. And then as they formulated the Business Improvement District, they stipulated some things that the BID would be responsible for, like beautification, cleanliness, trying to bring new business in, working with the local businesses. And so those are the things that the BID has been working on since around 85, I think was the date that they were actually established. So they've been around for a long time. And it's geographically based. So there's a line drawn around an area in downtown Nampa, and if your business falls within that area, within those lines, you're assessed a fee by the BID on a quarterly basis, and those funds are used for cleanliness, decorations, promotions and events, safety, that sort of thing. It was established as a city ordinance, and so any changes that would come to that would have to go through a vote, and it's a legal assessment that's charged per square foot based on that boundary. So Main Street is it's a national organization, and it is a nonprofit organization that is set up specifically to focus on helping the downtown areas. It's focused on economic vitality, design and aesthetics, promotions and events, and historic preservation. So unlike the BID, it's not geographic or business based, but it's community based. So there's no geographic boundary, and it's not specific to business. So individuals can be a member, and we have a lot of folks that are giving of their time, volunteering their time to be a part of the Main Street program here in Nampa. Main Street and BID work hand in hand on developing and redeveloping the downtown area, and that's by design, and that's the way it works in most cities that have a BID in the Main Street. So there's a lot of good examples out there, and we're able to leverage off of lessons learned from other places. We're as a Main Street program, we're able to connect with Main Street programs around the United States, and so it's a great base to work out of when we have questions or things that we want to look at doing. We can put the word out to those people and say, has anybody done this? What were the gotchas in that? And so we don't have to reinvent the wheel a lot of times. And that's the beauty of being a national organization. Again, it's a nonprofit structure. We're allowed to do fundraising through the nonprofit. It's volunteer based and organized with paid staff. So I am the manager for the program. And the mayor was so adamant about having this happen, and she is so behind having the Main Street program that she actually made it so that I could come on as a city employee to make sure that this position was established. And so while I'm working for a nonprofit organization, I'm actually a city employee. And I sit inside the position of the Economic Development Office. It's directed by Beth Einig, and Robin's the assistant director there. So that's where the connection between Robin and Beth and Morgan Treasure comes in with the Main Street, is because I sit in the Economic Development Office. And so the city's not only providing a salary for this position, but also location. And we're revenue generating, so it's not a legal assessment. And we've got the way that we go about doing that is that we will be basically selling or asking for people to join as a member of Main Street. So that's that's a lot of information thrown at you quickly. If you have more questions on that, feel free. And Beth, new neighbor, you're saying that if you have posters, the library will be posting posters from our ground floor windows. You've got, okay, so if we've got some marketing things from the downtown or out of Main Street, so either out of BID or Main Street, we can put those, get those to you and get those up in the library. Is that what I'm understanding? And somebody on Beth. Beth, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So if you have posters for community related things that are going on, like the Fourth Fridays is a perfect example, as the library is not going to be open for a while, you know, fully, we'll be allowing people into the lobby initially before they're, so we can work out distancing issues and all that, because it is very complicated at the library. But we have these gorgeous windows that face 12th Avenue where people see, and then as they start coming, we assume people starting to come onto the block. We'll be looking at our windows. So we'll be doing some advertising of library materials, but we're offering to put up things that you might like to have there too.
Great. Well, thanks, Beth. And if you don't know how to get a hold of Beth, obviously you can get a hold of me and I can get that information to her. We've got a great working relationship with the library. Ron, did I miss? I know there's more to it than that, but as an overview, was that, did I cover everything?
Yeah, it's great.
Main Street?
Yes. I think you covered all the topics between Main Street and BID. It's kind of a complex thing. We do get lots of questions about that. So Main Street.
If you have questions as to whether or not you're in the BID or not, give me a holler and we can I can walk you through that as well. So again, I work very closely with the BID. This is one thing I didn't mention, is the BID is actually run by a board that's elected by the business owners that are inside the BID. And those elections will be coming up here, I think, in August. And I work very closely with that board of directors.
Thanks, Jay. So Beth just put up also that they have at the library a large format printer if we need it, or if it's needed for anything. She just wanted people to know that that's also a resource for folks too in the downtown area. Appreciate Beth.
Yeah, and the pricing's great on that. It's I use them all the time.
So appreciate that, Beth. With that, I don't see any other questions. You can go to the library's website too for details on how, for the large format printer, how to go about using that, reserving it. So I think I
don't think anybody's going to have hurt feelings if we get them out of here a couple of minutes early today, Robin.
No.
So one of the things that we have decided is, with the short week next week, we're not going to have another Zoom meeting next week. And we'll probably have, what we're looking at doing is doing one on the 4th and moving to more of a interview type situation with business owners downtown. And so I haven't been able to contact the individual that I'd like to see for the 4th yet, so I'm not going to mention any names. But I would like to throw something out at you, and Robin, I'm taking you by surprise on this one, so I apologize. Robin and I have talked about this just a little bit, but what we talked about doing is actually going to more of an interview type format with individual businesses downtown, pre-recording those through a Zoom meeting at their convenience, at the business owner's convenience, and then moving away from this live format going forward once we move into the stages and more businesses are open more and more hours. And business owners are spending more energy and focus on their customers rather than sitting and listening to us for 30 minutes. But then putting those out where you all can just click on them anytime and watch those at any time. So continuing the format, but not necessarily doing it in a live, as a live format. So would love to get feedback on that and see if you think that's something you'd be interested in.
All right.
So with that, Robin, is there anything else? We can maybe get them out of here in 4 minutes early.
Great. Appreciate everybody participating and being on with us. And then if you have any questions, please let us know. So that's all we have. So
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back downtown this afternoon for a little while and stop by and say hi to some of you.
thank you. Have a great day. Bye.